Today's show, you guys, pumped to bring this one to you. Going into May, guys, we're almost halfway through the year. So this is a big one for you to actually make real progress in your business the rest of the year and, grow your income, grow your business and your team. This one is all about solving real bottlenecks that matter, that'll help you move the needle forward. So whether you're just starting or you're looking to go to a million, 2 million, 3 million or beyond, this is the episode for you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. People don't fail at real estate because they suck. They fail because there's too many ways to succeed. That's why I suggest you focus on the most important skill in all of real estate, which is finding deals. I'm Ruud-Johnson, and in this podcast, I share the exact steps I've used to source 400 deals by age 24. This will allow you to do three things: control your deal flow, make unlimited income, and build your empire as an off-market operator. We all want to scale our companies. I talk to real estate investors all the time. They want to do one thing: that's scale the real estate company, do more deals. And oftentimes, real estate investors branch off into other businesses as well, or other aspects of real estate. But we run into the same problems, guys. The same problems, and I had to learn this the hard way. The same problem you face at $1 million in one business, you're probably going to face around the same range in another business. And I talk about a lot on this show, but what got you here? This podcast is a lot about implementing small things, and this show is no different. It's what so many of us as entrepreneurs, you guys, especially in real estate, we start out wholesaling, we start out flipping houses, and we start solving for what I call symptoms. And I talk about HOA a lot: hustler, operator, architect. And in the hustler stage, a lot of us solve for symptoms of a problem, of a bottleneck. So we're always solving for symptoms of a bottleneck. When you're starting out, right, because you don't have a ton of time, or you have time, you don't have a ton of money, right? You naturally have a lot of bottlenecks, and with bottlenecks come you wearing a lot of hats. So we're the ones handling title and escrow. We're the ones calling sellers. We're the ones selling deals. We're the ones managing the CRM. We're the ones doing the marketing. And that's great, you guys. That's amazing because you have to start somewhere, and 100%. But most people get stuck in that hustler stage forever, right? They're flipping homes. They're driving job sites nonstop. They're doing wholesaling. They're talking to buyers and they're talking to sellers and they're talking to the title company, and they're working 10, 12-hour days. I had a call with one of my one-on-one guys last week, Daniel, and he's incredible, smart guy, and he's doing 60, 80 grand a month by himself, but he's working 12 hours a day, and he's making three times as much now as he was in his job, at least. But you start having those thoughts of, man, should I just go back? At least then I had a life. And I don't want that for you guys. I don't want you guys to have a life that has to serve your business. I want you to have a business that serves your life. And in order to do that, we have to go from hustler to operator. You don't have to go all the way to architect, right? You don't have to be this big entrepreneur that has five companies that are all successful. That's distracting. But what you do need to internalize is how to solve for actual bottlenecks and constraints in your business. Okay. What I mean by that is, if you're looking to do, let's give an example. If you're looking to do $1 million next year, right? You're solving for different things than you did when you're trying to get to $100,000. But so many of us were solving downstream issues from the dam, the actual bottleneck in our business. If you think of a river, when it hits a dam, right? Only certain parts start getting through, and that's how we operate as business owners. We're running around with our hair on fire, just solving symptoms and not the main issue, the bottleneck. There's three categories a bottleneck can fall into in any business, right? You have leads, right? Marketing leads. You have lead conversion, which is sales. And then you have operations, which is product, team, back end, fulfillment. Those are the three buckets, leads, lead conversion, and operations that anything can fall into in a business when it comes to a bottleneck, right? So you need to look at your business on paper and say, what is actually stopping me from making more money, which is scale. Scale isn't more revenue, scale is more profit, right? So a lot of times, to get profit up, you have to get revenue up. But sometimes companies instead, they'll raise price on a product that also brings scale, right? You think about Starbucks earlier this year when they raised the price in their drink, say 10 or 20 cents. Marginal cost difference. The consumer usually isn't scared off by that, but for them, that was one way to increase profit without adding new product or new friction to their business. So with that being said, you guys have to look at in your company right now, in each department, right? And look at, okay, first leads, right? For leads. Most of you guys have a seller leads problem. And okay, how do we get better quality leads? How do we get more leads in the door? That's an actual issue, right? A lot of us are chasing symptoms of that issue, which is we're constantly buying the next course. We're constantly chasing down the next beautiful, magical marketing strategy. But that's not what actually solves that bottleneck. What solves that bottleneck is, one, simplicity, and two, predictability, right? You will need to simplify and have a predictable way to get leads in the door. And that's usually just one marketing channel, right? Like better, like, and Alex Hormozy talks about this a lot, but better is better, right? New isn't better, then better is better. So for you guys that are already getting three leads in the door from cold calling, you're doing deals, don't go add on another marketing channel, right? Do more cold calling until you maximize that marketing channel. Otherwise, why would you be doing it in the first place? We're not going to maximize it. So the first bottleneck you need to solve is getting to a point with your lead flow that you can actually scale. Because one, two leads a day getting in the door isn't going to scale your real estate company. Three or four or five, and a big part of that's getting comfortable with actually spending money. And you guys have to start thinking about marketing as an investment in your real estate company because it is. And that was a big change to change for all of my companies. When I send out, you know, just social media. If you guys watching or listening to this podcast, just for me to produce podcasts twice a week, every single month with publishers, editors, everything like that. For me to produce the shorts I do with editors, for me to produce the content I do, for me to produce everything that I do, I probably pay out about $20,000 to $25,000 a month between editors, content creators, in terms of, I guess, short form editors, podcast editors. It's my assistant, everyone that's involved in my content ecosystem, right, is $20,000 to $25,000 a month. And I get excited to spend that money because that's an investment in distribution. And that's a big bottleneck, right, for any company. I have agencies, right? I have my call center. I have a bunch of other consulting I do. One of the biggest bottleneck in both of those companies, right, is lead flow. And so my content distribution maximizes lead flow, which maximizes distribution, which solves that bottleneck for me. So that's how you guys have to start thinking. If any dollar spent towards detangling a bottleneck in your company and solving that isn't an expense, it's an investment. And so when you guys look on paper, if you have the money rolling in, right, and you have the bandwidth to spend more money in your business, that's not going to hurt your life. Then you can say, okay, what's the bottleneck in this company, right? If you have a good partnership, if you're a solar operator and you understand the business, right? That your bottleneck is at first leads. Do you have enough leads to grow a company? Most of you guys, you have to be honest with yourself. You're looking for all these magical solutions, this next software, the next system, the next mastermind, the next guru, the next tool, the next way to subject to innovation, all this kind of stuff. But you're not solving for the actual bottleneck that you have. And for most of you guys right now, you don't have enough freaking leads. And I'll be direct here because I get this question all the time is how do I scale? How do I scale? How do I scale? Okay, well, the first thing you need to look at between leads, conversion, and operations, the first thing, you're not even solving for the main problem, which is leads. You need more leads. I don't care if you hire our call center or a different call center, you do pay per click, you do texting, you do pay per lead, you do mail. I don't care. You need to find something that works for you and stick to it until you can get at least 10 leads a day in the door for yourself or a sales guy. If it's you right now and you're getting leads in the door for yourself, you need 10 leads a day. You can handle that. You can have 8 to 10 new leads a day, build your pipeline, work your pipeline, use automated follow up and nurture sequences. You can do that. That's the first thing you need to solve for is getting enough leads in the door for you to do revenue. It's math, right? It's absolute math. What's the reason that McDonald's still advertises? Right. They don't need their $1 billion company, but marketing is so important. It's an investment for them. They know if they spend X amount of dollars, X amount comes back in. And you know that in this business, even if you suck, you should be getting a 3 to 4x return on your marketing. Two worst case. And if you ask someone, hey, if you spent $100,000 and you knew 200 was coming back 3 months later, would you do that 100% of the time over and over and over again? That's what good companies do, good operators do, and good responsible business owners do. So the first bottleneck, which is 90% of you guys that I talk to, you have to solve for is more leads. And that's in any business, right? We generate thousands of leads across our companies every single year, right? Just in our call center, you guys, beyond our real estate company, just in our call center, we've generated almost 2,000 leads in the past 24 months with no paid ads, all organic. And that was a bottleneck for us. But we solved this. You guys need to look at solving number one. It's leads. It's pretty simple. Hire a cold call service, cold call yourself. Hire a texting service, text yourself. Hire a pay per click service, do pay per click yourself. Send out mailers, whatever that is that you're already scaling. I've talked plenty about marketing and cold calling and blah blah blah, and other podcasts you can go back and listen to. Highly worth your time. But that's the first thing you guys need to solve for, and that's most of you guys is leads. You need enough leads to get enough reps because everyone talks about get better at sales, and you have to get better at sales. But how can you really get better at sales? We don't have reps, and you have to have reps. So that's either working for a different company or getting on the phone to sellers yourself or cold calling. Okay. Once we get past leads, then you can go into lead conversion. That is sales. But again, you need reps to up conversion. But also with lead conversion, right? Goes follow-up systems, having a sales process, right? Having some kind of tracking systems. You can track your KPIs, reps, listening to trainings, right? Listening back to your calls, doing rebuttal training, playing around with your scripting. Those are all things that go into lead conversion, as well as lead to call time, right? How long does it take you to call a lead when a lead comes in? So many people I talk with and my one-on-one clients or group clients with our group, they come in, they say, yeah, cool. I get a lead comes in and, 3 days later I get to it. I have kids, I have a job. I go, cool, man. Well, I 100% understand, but your business right now is also a baby for you and your business needs attention. And if a lead comes in, it sits there for 3 days, they're not going to remember who you are because so many people talk to them. They get so many postcards, so many texts, so many calls, like everyone does for everything, right? I get probably 20 touch points a day about every car that I own. Get 20 touch points a week. I get postcards in the mail all the time about my house. Selling our whatever the situation is, you guys are marketing to someone for, other people are as well. So you can't let leads sit. So those are things that go into the lead conversion process that you need to say, okay, if I have enough leads, how do I up conversion? Because before operations doesn't matter. You don't need to systemize, you don't need to automate, you don't need to put VAs in place if you're not getting leads and deals in the door. So many people come to us in our groups and they say, hey, I just want to automate. I just want to delegate. I just want to systemize, automate. Passive income doesn't exist. Does not exist like you think it does. You just solve for the bottleneck you're facing. And if you solve the lead bottleneck and you truly have dialed in on lead flow, having enough lead flow for your company, then you just solve for conversion. Because if you can't convert your leads, you can't do anything else. Your operations don't matter, right? If we're talking this business as a conveyor belt, if stuff's coming in on the front of conveyor belt, but nothing's coming in on the backside, no matter how much stuff you put in the conveyor belt, then who cares? You don't have a business. And so focusing after leads on lead conversion, tangent here, that's why I hate people to see people on Facebook and coffee shops and just mentally masturbating, because you guys aren't solving for what matters. And we get so caught up in responding to emails, responding to Slack messages, going to events, buying new courses, buying new masterminds, sitting on Instagram, sitting on Twitter, and we mentally masturbate over and over and over again. And we never actually take a step. You'd be better off focusing on one simple thing a week and doing that every single day for 4 hours than you would what you're doing right now, most of you guys. So solving for first leads and lead optimization, right? That's putting the reps, trainings, listening back to calls, doing script training, and really crafting the lead conversion process for your company. The last part of this, guys, is operations. Once you have stuff moving down the conveyor belt, then how do you make the conveyor belt more efficient? But that's not going to take you from 0 to 5. That's going to take you from 7 to 8.2 on a scale of 0 being the worst, 10 being great at the business, right? Improving your operational side is going to take you from a 7 to an 8.2. It's not going to take you from 0 to 5. 0 to 5, more leads, better conversion. After that, you guys, you might want to have some virtual assistants. You might want to start making some hires, document your SOPs, create a playbook, track your KPIs better, hire, train, and manage people the right way. Going from 1099 to W2, right? Doing the things that actually take you from 7 to 9, 7 to 8.5. Those are going to take you from 0 to 5, 0 to 6. That's going to be more leads and getting deals in the door. And I can look back in our real estate company, guys, and a lot of times when we got stagnant, I was just focusing on the wrong stuff. And I take accountability for a lot of the issues I had in my past partnership is, we started focusing on the wrong stuff because we thought what got us to $1.5 million. One year we did almost 3, including flips and wholesale, to 5, and that's not the case. You can't get to 5. What got you to 1? What got you to 2? What got you to 3? You have to start focusing on the next bottleneck, because bottlenecks change at every single level, right? It goes from leads to conversion, and then operations. Like in our call center business, right, guys? An example: bottleneck was leads. Plenty of leads now. Then we have operations. We have a great team. Then right now our biggest bottleneck is retention, and it's going up tremendously. But if new leads don't matter if we don't solve that bottleneck, and that's going to get us to 3 to 4, 5, 600 grand a month. That's how you continue to solve bottlenecks in a company, is slowing down, focusing on one bottleneck at a time. So if I can tell you guys anything on this Monday, recording that's actually Sunday, May 7th. So you guys can get this May 8th. If I can tell you anything to take away on this 8th of May, we're almost halfway through the year already, is start solving real bottlenecks you have. You guys, again, hustler phase, you have to go through it. You have to be the ones door knocking and cold calling and doing texts to get some deals in the door. But then start solving for the issues you're actually facing, not problems not symptoms, right? A symptom of not having enough leads is that you're worried constantly about your pipeline because you have 2 leads coming in every day. That's a symptom. The root cause is more lead flow. Lead conversion, you're worried that you suck on the phone, you can't seem to get enough deals signed. Fixing that, studying, training, putting the hours in, putting the reps in, fixes the actual bottleneck. For operations, right? You can't get deals closed fast enough. Deals are falling through. Sellers are confused. Earnest money is getting forgotten about. Putting a playbook, SOPs, and a team in place solves that. So, and this sounds a lot more simple than it is, but focus on one thing, you guys. Focus on one bottleneck this week and ruthlessly attack that, and put everything off as later. You're going to get to it later, but right now you got to solve one bottleneck at least this weekend. That is my message for you on this Monday. Great show. I loved recording that one. I think it's something that's been on my mind a lot. I constantly have to remind myself, what constraints, bottlenecks I actually need to solve for versus doing the busy work, right? We all get caught up and overwhelmed, and we just want to control something. We want to, respond to the email, handle the Slack message, pay the bill, do something that feels like true work. Really, what we need to be focusing on is what actually moves the needle and removes bottlenecks from our company. And that's what I want you guys to focus on this week, is how do you actually remove a meaningful bottleneck this week, and then do that every single week. Success, especially in business, guys, is knocking down one domino at a time. And I realize that more and more as I get older, is it's about doing one thing well and the next thing well and the next thing well, not 20 things decently well at one time. So you can do more and more as your team grows and whatnot. So I don't truly mean it has to be one individual thing, but that is my message for you guys this week. As always, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to a show, leave me a rating, review, share on your stories. And again, as always, DM me with feedback. I love your guys' feedback on these shows. So as always, you're only one deal